most of the newspaper this morning, basically the headline is on insecurity, how the Senate feels they have failed when it comes to insecurity. Governors trying to, there's a loggerhead as to negotiating with bandits.
Yep.
Now, in this regard,
That is the story of the week.
that's the story of the week. Is that the right move at this point in time, negotiating with the bandits? Because if you keep negotiating, you know how the repercussion is going to be.
Different strokes for different folks. Yesterday, I listened to Information Minister Ladilai Mohammed defend the Zamfara governor for negotiating with bandits. The minister was asking what other way, in a situation where you can't catch the bandits, you can't arrest them. They're far deep in the forest, and that they keep killing people. They keep coming into town in the states around Zamfara, Kaduna, Niger, and commit havoc and go back. If you find an opportunity, a back end channel, a back channel opportunity to talk to them, to lay down their arms, and take amnesty, then there's nothing wrong. I mean, we saw Awalu Dawa, the kingpin in the Kankara boys, come and take amnesty, drop about 20 rifles, and swore to the Quran that I will never go back to my old ways. Maybe if he doesn't go back to his old ways, you have solved that problem. But Nasir El-Rufai, governor of Kaduna, this week also raised the very crucial argument that they never go back, they never fully repent. And I think we should just wage war and flush them out. He was criticizing Shigumi, who had gone to Zamfara, into the enclave of these bandits, and discussed with them, and then asked government to offer amnesty. El-Rufai says a Fulani man who, for one whole year, after selling a cow, gets 100,000, now get millions from ransom, and you're asking him, you're telling him that he wants to accept amnesty. It will not happen, that's what El-Rufai is saying, and that these people are really not religious, because that's just what they are, bandits. Dawa, for instance, they say he's an ex-armed robber, an ex-gun rustler, and then he's a gun runner for the Boko Haram. He got jihadist training in Libya, After all of this, are you sure that kind of man can really repent?
You give them amnesty.
Because you get amnesty, maybe a few million in his pockets, and then he spends it.
And how is
and then what does he do again?
And then they don't pay no consequence. They don't.
He doesn't
pay punishment. He doesn't pay for the crime.
That's what amnesty means, that you don't pay for your crime. That you're forgiven for whatever crime you have committed. So you don't go back to that crime. No. I mean, we saw what happened with the Boko Haram. The military introduced what they call the DRR program, the de-radicalization, reintegration, and rehabilitation of militants. Community people, the people in communities in that region kept saying that they come back to Boko Haram. We know them. They take amnesty, they say they have repented, but they still go back to the Boko Haram. They give Boko Haram information, so they truly never repent. And that's the point of Governor Nasir El-Rufai in this matter. But there are others who are saying no, it's not. You want to find a way. If the military can't flush them out, because indeed the military can't deal with the bandits, they're still there. They are invading, they're killing people every day. This week, 23 in Kaduna, 2 incidents this week. 16 on the Monday night, then next day 23. There's talk about the big forest between Kaduna and Niger states, where the militants have flushed out hundreds of villages and the bandits and have taken control, and that's where they operate from. They seize people, arrest people. You can't travel to Abuja from Kaduna.
And not just Abuja, you can travel right now to your community, to your home states. But as with the question right now is, the law seems to be a little bit unbalanced. If an armed robber is caught for petty thieving, the kind of
armed robber cannot thief petty. It's armed.
Sometimes when they are caught, maybe the crime is not as huge as this bandits, but then the kind of punishment that is meted out on them is severe. And now these people, with the crimes that they have committed, are granted amnesty. Amnesty with no consequence, nothing to let them know that they did something wrong.
Amnesty doesn't have consequence.
That's what amnesty is.
You are forgiven for your old sins, and you are asked to start. In the Niger Delta, when the militants took to the creeks and began to demand resource control, and the federal government now offered amnesty, they were taken abroad to be trained as pilots. I mean, for people who bombed federal government resources. securities. That was it. That was the government spent billions, of naira, on the amnesty program. President Yar'Adua started it, to get them out of the creeks and reintegrate them into society by rehabilitating them. Some of them became pilots. I heard the story I heard the other day was that in the Niger Delta today there are hundreds of pilots who are unemployed, because they have gone to South Africa, gone to Europe, got this training as pilots, and they have come back home and they have no work. There's no plane to fly, no helicopter to fly. So most of them are controlling small creeks in their area that back to militancy. Yesterday this matter came up in the National Assembly, in the Senate. In fact, that was a debate. The Senate had been on holidays. They came back. They had to look at the security situation in the country, and I expected them to do that because while they were away, a lot happened. The president even changed the service chiefs that they had said. The Senate especially had said that if you don't change them, we're not talking again. Do as you like with the service chiefs. Eventually the president changed them while the National Assembly was on holidays. So it was a big debate yesterday, and it started with Ajayi Borough, I think, and he's from Ondo State, the deputy leader of the Senate, when he raised the issue of Governor Akeredolu giving quick notice to headers in Ondo. He said it was a good move, but that was criticized by some northern governors. The Senate descended into some kind of argument, the uproar. It didn't descend into violence. They didn't carry chairs, because those chairs are stuck to the ground. So it was a debate, that led the National Assembly to resolve that. The National Security Advisor, Mr. Mongono, the new service chiefs, they have not been cleared them because the Senate even asked their Committee on Defense to begin to screen them now. And the IG of police, retired or not, that they should meet and devise a new security architecture for this country, a way to go. And they asked the president to also issue an executive order, to deal with banditry. And the executive orders, if you issue it, for instance, you can really deploy the military into the streets of Zamfara to mop up these bandits, but we have left them for the governors to do. And that's what Zamfara governor Matawale always says, that nobody's helping me. Is it because I'm a PDP governor in the Northwest? Nobody's helping me. I have to find help by myself. And the help I found, whether you like it or not, is to talk to these bandits and ask them to drop their arms for amnesty.
Well, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said something when a comparison was brought up for IPOB and the bandits.
Yes.
He says that IPOB threatens the sovereignty of the nation, but that's for the bandits, it's about security, that you cannot compare both of them. So they cannot state, or rather appropriate the bandits as, what do you call them, terrorists?
It's true. You might not like Lai Mohammed, but that's the truth. IPOB is a group. They have a leader. So they are proscribed and declared illegal. So they are referred to as an illegal body, proscribed, prohibited, and the law is against them. For the terrorists, you can't do that because it's amorphous. You don't even know who they are in the sense. They're not. The Boko Haram can be declared terrorist group because we see that the Boko Haram is a unit, and they have so declared. But the bandits are just they are what they are, bandits, a group of people who decide to commit crime. So it's a criminal matter that should be dealt with by law enforcement. For IPOB it's a bit different, So people who keep saying that if the government had the courage to declare IPOB illegal, declare the bandits illegal, how do you do that? The bandits already illegal. It's a criminal activity from the beginning. They did not have an agitation, so it's different in that sense. The minister is correct.